Hey everybody, there's my F-150. Last video I made on it, I hadn't picked up the top yet, and I got that. I went camping for like 8 days, a trip with my sister through the Tetons. We did some 4x4 roads, and I wanted to make a little video talking about first impressions of that after 8 days in it. So let's go check it out.
Do I follow you?
So I picked this up from Lear. This is one of their less expensive shells. I just went to the Lear dealer in Salt Lake City, Utah, and said, give me one that will look good on the F-150. And then told them the year. They painted to match it. They put in slide windows. And then the only other option I did was the carpeting in the roof. So if you get in close, you can see the carpeting in the roof. And got that just so that under here is like, it's like the fiberglass stuff, so it's like white looking. And I just got that so it feels, when you're camping in it, it feels more homey. And then from my apartment, there was leftover carpet from the remodel, and threw some of that in there just so that when camping in there, if you put your arm off the sleeping mat, it's not touching cold metal. And that helped make it feel like a little camper. And then I also had 2 little shells. Up on the top, it's got a little brake light up there. And I like the way, can you see it in there? Or is it pretty far away? I like the way that one looks, how it's not, how it shines red when you brake, but it's just like silverish looking. Black looking, whereas these are bright red. I want brake lights that look like that, are only red when you're stopping. Included in the cost of buying it, you can come up close, was the installation, and basically all they did was clean the top part of the truck bed and anchor it in with these 4 bolts that screw down, and install this power cable, which is just loose, which is not very good because I don't want it to fall down there and slam this clip and then damaged. So to take it off, I just undo this clip and I undo these 4 and then lift it with my back and walk off. The back window, I just went for the solid glass because my truck bed doesn't have that. And already being back in Georgia with all the rain and everything, it's gotten pretty gross in there when it's in the morning after it rains. This whole inside is just humid grossness that doesn't go away until you park it in the sun. So you can't really see back from the mirror back all the way through, especially with three dirty panes of glass. Plus 2 of them are tinted. And the window slides here, you can hand it to me. The window slides in this were pretty nice for camping. You just pull this clip back and then move it over, slide it over. It's kind of hard to do. And then the airflow is pretty decent in here. Like it's just opening that right now, air is going through pretty easily. Something I was concerned about that didn't end up happening was this shifting. I've heard that when you take them on 4x4 roads, they'll end up like shifting back, and it's still in the exact same spot they mounted it on. So I guess that they tightened it more than what other people had. In this truck, there's a lot of spaces. So this is a difference from coming from the van into this truck. It's a lot more open. When we drove on the dirt roads, even with this closed, a ton of dust got in here, like all along the stuff that was right here on the cooler. A ton of dust came in, and in spots like this, you can probably see, or you can see the ground just slightly, like it's about as thick as a fingernail. And you've got it here, and there's a few spots like that in the corners. And then, can you close that tailgate? And then also, depending on how you park, right now it's decent. So like on this side, you can see through a little bit. You can see air through there. And then you can see it through right there. So depending on how you park, one side will be really wide, one side will be less. And I don't know if that's because of the flex of the aluminum bed or what. And then another thing that I noticed from camping in here, everything that's along the edge gets kind of wet if it's raining, because, so if this is open like this, the rain will come down and just drip through right here, through the seams down into the truck, like 4 inches into the bed of the truck. And what we ended up doing was, if it rained, we closed this. Oh, and if you have these open, it rains right onto the screen and just gets kind of like this whole area wet, that whole area wet. So those end up getting closed. Why is that all dusty? So we end up closing these, and then this, we would pull down to like here, and I hooked up this ratchet strap to grab on, and I don't think it's still tightened to the right thing, but then it would hold it down like that just so there's a little bit of airflow. But I would need to figure out something for still being able to get airflow without it raining in here. So what we did was we just had 2 mats and just slept in it on there, and then every time we would have the buckets, we would move them into the front seat. So it'd be nice to build something that has either like small pull-out drawers that go halfway back, and then the farther back is accessible through like a flap. But that trip, it was just very basic. But yeah, that's my first thoughts with this Lear. It was a little bit pricey. I paid like $2,100 to get the shell, and to get it put on, I think they charged like $70 to put it on. Driving with it on, there's definitely noticeable, like just having all the stuff in the back, the camper, and having an extra person, it was noticeable like where it shifted and how it drove. So it's not as fun going around. It's not as fun driving like in town, going around, starting at a stop sign, coming around a corner. It's harder to make the wheels chirp, stuff like that, but that's not really, that's just compared to the van, it's a lot more utility feeling. Yeah, it worked great. I've liked it so far. So far, 5,150 mile review of the truck. The added power is awesome. The drive height is awesome. Pretty much everything about this car is awesome compared to the van I was using. In the past 5,000 miles, I've been getting an average of 18.8 miles to the gallon, which I thought I'd be getting like 14 to 16. So there's a plus there. Driving back from Utah to Georgia with all my stuff in the back, I had, I don't know, a couple thousand pounds of gear. Being able to go through mountain passes in Colorado and mountain passes in Utah, and then through like the Tennessee mountains, it was great to be able to actually go the speed limit, to be able to go like 60, 70, whatever the speed limit was. Having the 10 gears, so it usually will skip over gears, like it'll jump from first to third to fifth and then go through them slowly, unless you're accelerating really slow. But going from 4 speeds to 10 speeds, it has a lot more, I don't know, it's just a lot better of a transmission. But the transmission is not perfect, and especially on steep roads, when I'm going, I'll come up and there will be like someone merging, so I'll get off the gas, hit the brakes a little, and then hit the gas again. It seems like there's not play, but it'll be kind of clunky. It'll feel like Marcus's Sequoia, or like my mom's Suburban, or maybe it's just a bigger truck thing where from hitting the brakes to going back again can be a little bit clunky. And then sometimes it'll go through the gears, it'll just shift perfectly. You'll go from 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and you won't even feel a single shift. It'll keep consistently pulling. So I don't know what's making the difference there. And did an oil change. It was like $76 or something to have them do it. I want to learn to do it myself. And other than that, it's been a great upgrade for the truck coming from the van. And yeah, thanks for watching. That's my opinion on the Lear. That's my opinion on the truck after 5,000 miles. Thanks for watching, and click thumbs up and subscribe. That's kind of rambly.